what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah? Keep listening.
Oh, look who it is! Hey! Happy Friday to you and welcome to the Friday edition of Your Show. Still, at this very moment, as far as we know, the only live show on YouTube from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, we call that scheduled viewing, just like we all grew up with. And we're so damn proud to be sharing this stage with you each and every weekday. Feels so good. I also think we may also be the only show originating from Saskatchewan that is scheduled viewing 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, just like we grew up with on the network. We're a network. We're not a YouTube channel. We're not a podcast or anything. We're a network just like you know and love and grew up with. And we're bringing it back, man. We're bringing a lot of stuff back here, and I think it's a lot of stuff that the world needs. I am your busty host, Gary. Still busty. I'm down a little bit. I lost a couple poundages, but I still haven't lost the title of busty because I'm still busting out of this shirt. It's the greatest YouTuber of all time. Photo prospector, baby. He's number one. We also say categories, make them up, and say we're number one. That guy's number one. We're number two in this case to the photo prospector. Hello to him, and we love you and miss you oh so dearly. We also have a Maggie cam that we love to show off. Let's see what she's up to today. Old Mar. Oh, she's got a very good, serious look going on. Look at that. Beautiful. So before I tell you all about Pet Planet on A Street, I do have to say, I was in there today talking to Mike. Don't do it, March. Oh, she's going to get close. She wants a close-up. Extreme close-up. Whoa. Nice. I walked in. Leroy barked at me 2 times. And I said, Leroy. And then he realized it was me that came over, and I was starting to pet him, and he was giving me kisses, and I looked at Mike. I was like, why is he so mad at me? He goes, well, he didn't bring his girlfriend. I was like, yeah, that's fair. So I let Leroy get a couple chirps in, and then he took me up to the counter, and Mike and I had a lovely, lovely visit. And get this, the day, the visit, the whole thing kept getting better because today's bag of food I bought was free bag of food day. Thanks to Maggie as she walks over and does not want to walk back, but we're still doing the Maggie Cam here. The Maggie Cam proudly presented by our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. I was just talking about Mike, as well as Rochelle. When you walk in those doors, Leroy walks you right up to them, and you get the best service in the history of mankind as far as pet stores go. As well, the cleaning station, second to none. They got all the cool latest toys and outfits. We're going to do another Adventures with Maggie here on Monday. We're going in there because Mike had mentioned that Rochelle had said they got these new seatbelt collars, which are so cool. I can't wait to show them to you. But we're going to feature a new year, new me type situation, which I hear is what the kids do or something like that. And then when that happens, Maggie will be sporting all the cool new stuff there. So check out our good buddies over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. This man beside me right now, you know him as the co-host of the CCO, as well as the inventor, creator, and executor of the BBO and the YTC and the BBO. Let a pro do it. Tell us what it's called, my friend.
The BBO on the CCO YTC. That's the Brando's box opening on the Commander Cookout YouTube channel.
Uncle Brando!
Yay! It's me. That's
and
exciting.
make no mistake, we got LB on the ones and twos today. I saw that one. That was a great. What's that one called? What's the name of that one? 4 Corners? I think it's gonna be 4 Corners. He had the transitions, I guess they're called. It was very cool. Yeah, look at all those things.
Yeah, I can see him doing all the things on the thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
It's just the one with the 4 squares. I loved it. Very creative. How sick was that? Woo. LB was actually cracking wise the other day because he was talking about how whenever anyone else does the show, they don't use the fancy ones. It's like, man, it's almost like he's keeping the other producers down but not showing them how to be super sweet on the transitions. Said, we're all a team here. We're all family. We don't hold none of the knowledge from anyone else around here.
Is that how you do it? Oh, damn it. Okay, well.
No, but we do.
I'm sorry, everyone.
No, you're fantastic. Dude, thank you so much for making it in today. I know we're doing a Friday night recording of the CCO, so the boys are in the house. Network Ryan will unfortunately be joining us in a little bit. But
that's too bad. We lucked out and he's off doing whatever it is he does when he's not like making us do stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I didn't tell you this, and I wanted you here for this because,
Ooh.
well, I did tell you that. Oh, yeah. It's the only time you ever had a big hammer in your hand, hey, bud? Well done. So the damn record label.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Did I mention any of this to you?
No.
I'm bringing this up because I got notes here from it.
I was wondering what those were.
We had sort of a summit, like a meeting of the minds here
Sure.
on a Tuesday, and it was such a great mix of minds because like even at a place like that, Network Ryan is worth more than ever because he's always our realist and he's always the guy that brings us back down from the clouds and he's our guy that guides us in the right direction. So I spent about the first 10 minutes talking about all the things I want and all these things that we want to do for these bands and this and that. And then we get talking. And then the question comes up, okay, that's all great. And then the next question is, as we are a studio that is growing, how do we continue to grow the studio as in bring in the money?
Right.
And
Excitement,
at that moment,
if you will.
that's the term.
Yes.
And at that moment, I'm saying to myself, man, I never think of that. He's so valuable to have in those situations because I'm talking about all the things we can do to help these people and all these things we can do to help bands and not just bands, venues and like tours and all this cool stuff that we want to get into. I never once thought about what are we getting in return? Because I just want to help these people. So that's why I say he's the perfect yin to my yang because I'm like the crazy idea guy who's just throwing all this stuff out there. And at the same time, the point of this story is we have some really, really cool stuff coming up.
Oh, I'm very excited for it. And
you're going to be a big part of it. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, cool.
Because we're going to start putting on my goal, and we're not announcing too much yet, but my goal is to have about every quarter, so every 3 months, a big concert at a venue in town here that spotlights not just the amazing bands that are a part of this incredible family of ours here, but also spotlights this incredible family we have here, as in doing a show from there before, like doing this show on location at one of these places before the show goes on.
Ooh.
And having, like, we use the example of the old Untimely Demise show. They had a Rock Bottom, I think it was, way back. They had a hockey shootout in the bar that you could play and you would shoot targets. They had a Mario Kart tournament on a TV in there.
Shit.
All these different little avenues for people to, still be active while the bands switch out and this and that. And it's gonna be like a traveling sort of circus.
Ooh, I love circuses.
Exactly. And the best part about all this is it'll be very affordable for everyone to get in on the fun. And we're gonna do a bunch of charity work with a bunch of incredible people here in the city, including our friends with One Small Step and our friends over the Saskatoon Community Foundation and many more, as it won't just be a place for us to all go and gather, but it will be a place which we always want to do where we can all go and get the karma up and do good things together.
Man, that sounds dope.
Isn't that fun?
That does sound fun.
And now as I'm sitting here, we're trying to sort of dish out different ideas on who's going to execute what and what we're going to do. And I'm just sitting here thinking, man, you'd be really good at a lot of this stuff. So I just want to let you know.
I'll rob the bank. I shouldn't have said that.
First step, yeah.
Yeah, because that's...
the whole plan's ruined now.
Where's the money coming from? Crime. If I've learned anything about anything...
Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. Getting money out of the bank is about 4 months hard, if you want to use it in a term, because I've been trying for about 4 months now. And even with the best bank people in the world, shout out to all my friends over at Affinity and over at Broadway, including Leah and everyone else there. Every time I walk in, they're always asking about the network, and they're always asking, what's going on with this and that. And everyone's so invested. And then once I bring up, so how about this load? It's just like, I don't know. Who are you? Yeah, okay. I'm just joking. It's never like that. It's just, as you know, if you want to get operating costs for a business you're just starting, like the biggest thing that everyone always reminds us here is you're not supposed to make money in the first couple of years of your new business, which is crazy to me because I'm sitting here being like, man, we're doing really good.
I was going to say,
yeah,
check. Yes.
So in that headspace, I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, we want to do more and grow more. And that's where the operating money would come in. And luckily, we have people helping us out with all sorts of different aspects of this incredible movement that we've started. And it's just so grateful. Like advertising. Oh. What? If you want to be, I got this, don't worry. He's speaking Ryan.
I was like, is he asking
if
me
you
that?
want to be like our good friends over at Deneb or our good buddies over at the Tooth Booth, a.k.a. Dr. Hausman and Associates, the Big Tooth on 2nd Ave, or our friends at Aquaman. Shout out to D-Rock and the team over there. Underwater drone inspections, hotter than ever. You can get one with them. Nickel Plumbing and Heating. I heard they do very, very, very good business. That's just what I've heard. As well, those guys right there. Sonder Concrete Services. lifetime sponsors for erecting this place. That's why we named it the Dufferin Avenue Media Network Studios inside the Sotner Concrete Services Clubhouse.
Yes.
'Cause this was the SCS Clubhouse before we moved in here, because they literally built the place. So if you want to be like a bunch of these amazing businesses as well, Pet Plan on 8th Street, your Pest Natural Grocery, it's real easy, all right? Hit us up. I'm going to try to sing it. You ready?
Okay.
Contact@dufferinav.com. That's our email. It's not too hard. It's kind of fun. Send us one. Let us know what's up. If you got, again, charities, you got organizations that need a push, you need a stage to get your word out there, we're that. We are that for you. We're hyper local. We live and breathe in this city. This is all of us together, and we want to make it so that this is the greatest city on earth. My personal goal, me being selfish, is I want to make it nice enough that when I leave the house, I don't fear leaving the house. I want to look forward to leaving the house because everyone's so grumpy. There's no smiles when you're out on the road. Everyone's giving each other the finger and yelling and honking and looking at their phones at green lights and almost accidents left, right, and center. I had 2 today. I had to drive. I was outside driving for about a half hour today and I almost got hit 3 times.
What?
Yeah, and just people not paying attention. One guy was, and I got tricked by one guy. We were on Circle going, I guess we going east, and it was the turnoff not for Clarence, but for Preston into Stonebridge. Mm-hmm. And we just passed the Clarence turnoff, and we're going, and this guy comes down the ramp. He stays on the right side. I'm like, I don't think that's the lane, but this guy knows, so I'll just follow him. So I'm following this guy, and then he signals left. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then I look behind me. There's a truck right beside me, and in front of me, out of nowhere, comes a giant barrier. So I do this, I'm like, oh my God, and I slowly jump over the last second. The guy totally tricked me. I thought we were in a lane that wasn't a lane.
Oh, man.
And the streets are all covered with all the dirt and all that stuff. So I couldn't tell. No, he just did the same thing that I probably would have done if I was him.
Oh.
He just thought he was in a lane, and then he swerves the last second. Like, why is he swerve? Oh my God. But just those little things. People need to pay more attention, including me. We want to make this world a better place. We also have a website. Check us out. I always like to sing a little jingle about how it's just like the email. It's just like the email. Mine is contact@dufferinav.com. Best website in the world. Thanks to Royal Anders. Are you ready to party yet, or are you still working over there? That looks like a yes. I love how he says yes. His sign language.
Yep. It's very good. While he's on his way up here, it's Network Ryan, alas. But I do want to, did you know what turns 55?
This sounds like a group conversation.
Because this is very exciting.
Do you want to sit down for this or no?
Well, I'm just...
It's Network Ryan.
Yay! I mean, boo.
Am I going to get blown away with this?
I hope so.
Boo.
This sounds like a very good opportunity. Oh, sorry, LB. If I had a controller, I could have did it for you.
Yeah, so LB's going to adjust the camera while I tell you guys what turned 55 this week.
Great teamwork.
Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
The 55th anniversary of Sesame Street is like this week or whatever, and they're celebrating it with like a bunch of new like musical acts that are going to be on the show and stuff. Nobody that's
musical
like super
guests.
Huge, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
That this show that we all grew up with and like was very formative to
Come
all of
on,
us.
you were born before Sesame Street was on the air. We all know.
Yeah, but I was still small. I grew physically while it was on television.
You didn't grow physically. You're still short.
He only grew in one place.
That's right, where it counts.
And it never stops.
Yeah.
Ayo.
Yeah.
And my second ever possession that I got as a human
Snuffleupagus.
is a Sesame Street Big Bird's Busy Book. It was one of those like,
whoa.
Here's like a bunch of stuff you can do with stuff you find around the house, like use milk cartons to make bowling pins, and here's how you make the easiest, most unfuckable cookie dough you can possibly do.
Use this Clorox to change the color of your eyes.
Exactly.
Easy there, Count Cocula or whoever it is over there.
All the 80s stuff that was super safe to do,
Yep.
that's still super safe to do today.
Yeah.
It was all in this book, and I still have it.
Put pillows on the bottom of your stairs and see if you can jump them all.
We did that.
Yeah.
We did
Definitely.
that.
Oh, no,
did that.
we rode the couch cushion down the stairs.
That's
right?
a good move. What we would do is put plastic bags around our neck. So it's like a cape, and then jump down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not over our heads, but like
I
around.
thought you were taking the plastic bags end to end all skinny and then putting them around her neck and then jumping.
Definitely not. Definitely not that. I will say this. Out front of the house here, the beautiful Majestic Studios, I'm pretty sure Big Bird got ran over. Do you guys see those yellow feathers out front?
I noticed that too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's like 4 different, like, very bright yellow feathers scattered around the front of the studio here. And I was like, man, is Big Bird okay?
I mean, not anymore, probably. Like,
Looks like he got dinged.
if Big Bird gets hit by
Yeah,
a
but
car,
he's big though.
Like, does he
Like,
go
he's
down, or
fine.
does he
car
take out
explodes.
whoever's in
The
the
car
car?
explodes.
Like when you hit a moose, right? Because their legs are so long, the
Yes,
whole body goes in the
that.
winch.
Yeah.
So would Big Bird, if you hit him with a car, would he just like?
Okay, hold on a second. I have an answer to your question, but I have to ask a question first.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you remember the Dudley boys?
Sure do.
Yeah. Okay. Who's the third little Dudley boy?
Spike.
Spike.
Spike Dudley.
Spike Dudley.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the
It would
best.
be like if Spike Dudley was fighting the Big Show.
Well,
That would be like that would be
Well,
like
you know what?
your
There's-
car hitting the Big Bird.
There's an actual standard set for that. The great Mike Awesome in ECW. He was like, the next big thing. He was huge, jack dude. His name was literally Mike Awesome. Like, he was such an awesome wrestler. And Spike Dudley was in a match with Mike Awesome. And Mike Awesome literally picked him up, like put him over his head, walked over the ropes, and threw him about 10 rows into the crowd.
yeah.
10 rows.
And they
It was
ca-
incredible.
And the crowd caught him and body surfed him all around
Way
the
around.
ringside.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's
Pretty dope.
unbelievable.
It's
Pretty
a
cool.
really cool
And-
visual.
An even crazier story about Spike Dudley is he's highly intelligent still.
Still.
He probably had
What?
he probably had over 30, like more conkies than Brando.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, 100%
Like his
more
head
conkies
hit
than-
everything. And when he didn't have to sell because guys destroyed him.
Yeah.
And
Why
he
do
does
they do that? Sometimes, and it's going to happen because our phones listen, and because Skynet, your
Of course,
best
my
friend.
favorite.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Spike Dudleys all over our phones now.
Yeah.
Why was that the case? Like, why was it that guy? Just because he was small?
Yeah.
Because he was tough? Because he was stupid?
His thing he
All
was
three?
like
Yes.
a mini Mankind. Like people ask
Why,
Mankind all the time, how do you make it look so real? And he'd always say, because it was.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
How do you not get hurt? And he's like, yeah, I do.
Right.
There's
That's
no
the
secret.
whole point.
I'm,
That's what
I'm
I mean.
always hurt.
And so when you know how many conkies Spike Dudley's had, and then you see a video of him doing an interview like a year ago, and he's still hyper intelligent. Like he speaks so incredibly well, and he talks about the business. It's like, man, you shouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah, you shouldn't be alive.
It's crazy, yeah. When you see all the stuff he went
You
through.
know what?
And he's a teacher or something, too.
Yeah,
The WWE Legends documentary on Mick Foley.
yeah.
I
love
watched
those.
it. Rebecca and I watched it, and when he had that quote, right? Like he'd say, Mick, how come you don't get hurt? How come you're not in pain? And he said, there's no secret. I am in pain.
I'm actually doing it
There's no
all the time.
secret to this business and not being in pain. I want to do a good job. I want to put on a good show. I want to not have to sell stuff. I want it to be real, right? And the secret is I'm always in pain.
But
And-
the secret to that is having the tolerance for it.
yeah,
Being able
well,
to put on a
and-
match
and-
while you're in constant pain.
and having the vision to know that your dedication goes beyond just
Yeah.
yourself and your body in the moment, right? And
Yeah.
now he's got this legacy, right? Hell in a Cell match with the Undertaker, right? Is like,
Changed everything.
yeah, it probably changed the trajectory that wrestling
Vince
was on.
McMahon said, I will never allow anything like that to happen ever again after that match.
Yeah,
That's
And
what that was the craziest wrestling ever got on planet Earth. That was the peak, and then everything comes down from there.
Came
Vince
up-
wouldn't allow it
unless
again.
something is trying to be more crazy.
They already
than
did.
that.
No, they had Shane O'Mac jump off. Same thing.
But those were all set
But
up,
Okay,
right?
hold on.
That's
hold
what
on.
I mean. That's what I mean.
I was going somewhere with that. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
because that wasn't set up. Because that just like that happened.
is it,
It
yeah.
was like oopsies.
Mick, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, man, just push me.
Said me.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting back to you.
That quote, there is no secret. I was always in pain. That became like a driving factor. You guys were talking about Commander Cookout before I was on. That became a driving factor for me. It's like there is no secret. There's no secret to becoming a successful business person. I mean, there is if your dad's a successful business person. He gives you the business, right?
not a
That's a pretty good way to do it.
But
Yeah.
when you're building something from the ground up, and when you're starting something like the damn studios, like there's no secret. Sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's hard work at night or early in the morning. And
Especially when you're doing something no one else is doing. And that's the thing. You have to sort of pave
like
your
getting
own way.
choke slammed through a cage. Sometimes it sucks.
Especially when you land on a chair and it goes through your mouth and you have teeth in your nose.
Now the chair landed on him.
Or that one too.
You thought it was a booger too, though, right?
Everyone did.
You thought it was a booger?
Everyone did.
No, you know what? The first time I saw it, I knew it was his tooth already.
How? 'Cause
Yeah.
He heard it probably.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't see it
Tainted.
live. That was like in 1998. It's
a long time
I
ago.
started watching wrestling like in 99 or 2000. Like the Attitude Era was already in full swing when I got into wrestling originally. And you could even say, like, talking about the trajectory of wrestling, like you could even say Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell was like the unofficial start to the Attitude Era. You could make an argument to say like this is when that kind of stuff became more mainstream, like on television.
It brought that kind of hardcore style into the mainstream significantly more than it already was.
Yeah.
It was both a blessing and a curse because now they know how far they can push it and how much
yeah.
money they can
You
make
can't be as
pushing it.
creative.
But now you kind of are not expected, but you're expected to do that.
Well,
kind
it turns
of stuff,
into
right?
it gets wrestling away from athleticism and a sport and entertainment, and it turns it more into like a gladiator blood match.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I say when you plan to do something more extreme, you're smashing light bulbs on each other and hitting each other with weed whackers.
Kitchen sink match in
Yeah.
ECW, where the actual fans bring all the weapons in.
Yes.
And then the wrestlers use the weapons they throw in the ring. It's crazy.
Way more fun in real life. Way less fun on the big stages. Because people bring ridiculous stuff to the big stages where, like, when you're at a local one, somebody will bring in, this is true, a 3DO.
Panasonic 3DO?
Panasonic 3DO.
Come on.
Yeah,
Who's
dude.
wasting that? It must not have worked.
I mean,
It's a broken 3DO
it
for
certainly
sure.
doesn't work now because somebody got pile driven on it and broke it with their. It was awesome.
With their
it was
head.
awesome.
You got me, brother.
Right?
Oh.
But you can't do that kind of shit on like the big shows.
Yeah,
on TV,
it's
'cause,
it's
like,
less
oh,
marketable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more light bulbs and light tubes you're smashing over guys' backs, the less you can do that on USA Network television,
Yeah,
right?
you're not going to get death matches on TV.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought I was
Yeah,
extreme.
I thought
and then
that I
started
was gonna
seeing that
like them,
stuff.
and I watched some.
It's scary, man. That
And-
Gage guy,
Nick
they got
Gage?
the Nick Gage guy. I was watching the thing on him, and he was in a match. It was like a light bulb thing, and like a light bulb thing. There was barbed wire, everything. Like this is the dumbest wrestling I've ever seen. And he had a spot where he landed on something and it slit his throat.
Oh,
And he's profusely bleeding from the throat. And as they take him back, he's yelling at the people trying to save his life. I gotta finish the match. I gotta finish the match. They're like, dude, you're gonna die in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
they had to-
shut up.
They had to
Yeah.
airlift him to the hospital. I think
crazy.
his heart stopped on the
Yeah.
way there. Like,
It was insane, and he's still doing it.
And man, I
That's not
don't.
wrestling to me.
no.
I know that there's a market for that, right?
Clearly.
And
It's very
that
niche.
makes me think of how I think about the Damn studio, right? It's like, okay, there's a market for this, there's a market for that. Where should we be spending our money? And if I was a wrestling promoter, I would want more Rhea Ripley's and Dominic Mysterio's and Liv Morgan's and less guys using barbed wire as ropes.
unless
right?
what does
And
Jim
peop-
Cornette call him?
and-
Fat tattoo-headed dumb fucks. I think. is
And
what he
and
calls
people
them.
are gonna call us on the internet. They're gonna call us a pussy. Oh, you guys just don't like real wrestling. Ugh. It's like, come on. No, I like to be entertained.
You don't listen to people on the internet, do you?
No.
No, that's you. That's you.
I clearly don't, and I make sure I don't because until, just like leaving the house, until the internet's a safe space out there, I don't want anything to do with it.
I saw Mr. Pogo put a power drill in a guy's belly button one time.
Ugh.
Vroom, vroom.
Wrestling is fucked up sometimes, man. That's
Gross.
Fun to
So
talk
what are we
about,
talking
though.
about today? We're not
I
talking
want to
about
get back to
wrestling.
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Yes,
Okay.
I got a bunch of, I think, because we've all had our Sesame Street fix growing up. Like, I always joke that was the babysitter whenever, like, Mom used to go swim at the YMCA and she'd throw me off the daycare and it was Sesame Street. Every time we go. So I'm like, all right, I can watch this, see what, all the guys are up to. As far as favorite Sesame Street characters go, I do have to preface this by saying I named my Shih Tzu growing up. And I was the one who named it. I was so proud. Snuffles. So Snuffy
yeah.
was our Shih Tzu. So I'm assuming that meant I loved Snuffleupagus. And so I think I'm a Snuffleupagus guy. Do you have any guys that you just love? Like Oscar the Grouch, obviously.
Oscar the
amazing.
Grouch, classic.
So good.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's what you're all gonna be when you grow up. Just so you know. It's like, thanks, Oscar.
You're gonna be garbage.
Yeah, move over. Let me hop in there and see what it's like. But like Grover was a wild one too. Remember? Oh, Cookie Monster.
Cookie, yeah. You know what?
I'm a huge
Good
Cookie
one, LB.
Monster fan, with his
Yeah.
googly eyes, and he's so
Cookie
insane.
Monster.
I eat like him.
Okay,
It's
and
horrible.
I don't know how recently any of you guys have watched Sesame Street.
But it's been a while.
Is he Vegetable Monster still?
No.
Good.
But like I've got a 7-year-old son who doesn't watch Sesame Street any longer, but a few years ago
no,
when
too
he
young.
did, I would call that modern Sesame Street, right? Like cuz it's only a couple years old. And it was episode like 5,000, right? Like at the start of every Sesame Street, there's a plane flying through the air, and it's got like a little banner behind it that says what episode number it is.
Oh
I
wow!
didn't know that.
5400. I saw
pretty
one.
cool.
Yeah.
amazing.
And Cookie Monster is still
The man.
hilarious.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
So funny.
What about the Count? I love the Count. I love the Count.
He can't hold a candle. Cookie Monster, the skits they do with him now are like he's trying to be serious. It's like Cookie Monster's trying to grow up, and I wouldn't say that he's got a cookie addiction, because
he does. Are you kidding
but
me?
they don't call it that on Sesame Street,
Of course not.
And when he has to like pay attention to something so kids learn how to focus, like Cookie Monster learns how to focus.
Oh, no.
Cookie Monster always fails.
Of course he does.
And then he has to learn the lesson, right?
That's it.
But in the process of failing, they make it so funny. Oh man, I forgot about how funny Cookie Monster is.
That makes me happy.
LB probably knows. He's young enough to frickin' watch. He probably
Clearly
still
is.
watches.
He's your
Sesame
favorite,
Street.
hey?
Oh hell yeah, Cookie Monster's the
Cookie
man.
Monster.
Also the yip yips are also.
Oh,
Yep, yep, yep.
I used to love that like you'd see a thing. It's like yip 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 yip, and then
nope.
and then it'd be hot and touch it like the
Nope,
stove.
nope.
Man, I love those. I have one of them hanging in from the rearview mirror of my truck.
That's amazing.
The classic Bert and Ernie.
That was the
Bert
next
and
one.
Ernie.
How do you guys feel about Bert and Ernie?
Bert is hilarious.
Yeah, I always felt like Ernie was a real mean dude.
I feel like Ernie was like trying to get Bert's goat, but we came into their relationship such as it was like too late.
Yeah.
So we didn't see Ernie like with the setups. Like, I'll bet you Bert used to be a fun-loving dude that was a lot like Ernie.
I love
He
that
would totally eat
conspiracy.
cookies in the
Bert
bed,
ruined
but no.
Ernie, bro. Bert ruined Ernie.
No, Ernie ruined Bert.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
the one.
yeah.
All
You know
Bert
what I'm
wanted
saying.
to do was like have fun, party all the time, have a great time, living with his best bud. But instead, all of his hair fell out, so that little tuft on the top.
Yeah.
And he's pissed off about
And he's
it.
always frowning. You
Yes.
notice that?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
He's always, Ernie is always just so happy.
Okay. I gotta ask. I think he was a Muppet, but Beaker.
Muppet.
But Jim
Definitely
Henson is involved with all of them.
Yeah,
now. Like,
Bunsen and Beaker were on Sesame Street from time to
the
time.
Jim Henson like Muppet production
There was some crossover,
company
yeah.
is like does or provides all the Muppets and puppeteering for Sesame Street, right?
Yeah.
So there's been crossovers. Beaker was another hilarious one.
He is Beaker.
Because he couldn't talk, right? So he has to do his funny facial expressions.
And he had the little flap for a mouth. so, like,
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's great stuff.
What about this Sesame Street? What about favorite musical guest ever on Sesame Street? Where
I
if
don't
you
even
talk
remember
about music
I don't
earlier,
even remember musical guests.
Yeah, I don't remember them being. Like, I know that they were there.
They were there. I just don't
Yeah.
remember any. Yeah.
Rihanna's been on.
Come on.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little after our time.
Yeah.
I don't
I've
think I
seen
saw her.
my favorite one that I remember from my son watched was John Legend. He came on and played piano, and him and Elmo did a duet.
Come on.
Really good.
We didn't even talk about Elmo yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't though. Elmo kind of.
Elmo.
See, everyone
I don't
gives
hate him.
He's got a bad rep because he was the only Muppet that truly blew up with the Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah.
I
Like,
just
he
didn't like his-
transcended.
I don't like his voice.
He
His voice was kinda
transcended
irritating.
he got out of the streets.
Elmo might be a she,
LB
we
thought
don't know.
Elmo was a she.
Oh.
Just because of the high voice? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
there
can
we go.
see it.
Is
guess.
is he a she? Is
No,
he a
he's-
he?
He's a he.
Elmo's a he.
Elmo's a
referred
he?
to as he anyway.
I think he's a he. Yeah.
I think he is as well.
Yeah.
But Elmo,
John
yeah.
Legend and Elmo did a great duet together. Justin Timberlake's been on. Man, lots of people have been on
Everybody,
Sesame
yeah.
Street.
I just don't remember anything about musical. I do remember the in-between cartoons, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Brando always sings that.
I sing that all the
He
time
does sing
still.
Me too. Whenever I have to count anything, that's how I do it.
Yep.
So I guess Sesame Street's still
I think
teaching.
Exactly. Snoop Dogg's been on.
Yeah,
guaranteed
I've heard that.
Snoop Dogg's been on a bunch.
there.
Snoop Dogg is like he won the game of life. Now he's going back and doing all the side quests, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just living the dream.
Right in a
What
book
if we
going
could
on
be on
Sesame
Sesame
Street.
Street ever? That'd be cool, hey?
Man, never say never.
If I could meet Kermit the Frog and then, because crime, obviously steal Kermit the Frog, that would be so cool.
He's a Muppet.
He's a Muppet.
He's
But
a
that's okay. It's,
Well,
he still
he
stands.
shows up on.
They all did
Sesame
crossover.
Street
I'll
sometimes.
give it
He
to
sings "It's Not Easy Being Green" and all that stuff. That's where "It Isn't Easy Being Green" comes from.
Yep.
Right. So he's there.
And you love frogs.
And I love frogs. That's the truth.
Ah, good old Kermit the Frog. Do you think I can do a reset in a Kermit the Frog film?
Sure.
The Friday edition of your show, hanging out with the CCO bros from the Commander Cookout podcast. That's
pretty
hard. It hurt my neck.
It's hard to do
That's
that.
a tough transition, as we are halfway through, guys. Look at that.
I think you're too throaty for Kermit. I think Kermit comes from the nasal cavity a little bit more.
Heidi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
There you go. You had it when
harder.
you said Kermit. Yeah.
I can't get.
Can't do it.
No.
Oh,
I will
because
say
you got bad nasals. You got bad.
2-time deviated septum clean out.
Ooh.
Did I ever tell you the story about the second time when I went under?
No.
Oh, boys, this is such a great. If you're in a deviated septum humor at all, this is the place to be.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking up jokes to write for tonight on deviated septums. Yeah.
Well,
Let me have them.
I got you. So,
Is that real?
Nope.
Okay.
so I go in, and this was after I had been again let go for all the right reasons. Totally happy. Everything's awesome. We were all living in harmony, and I'm going in for this deviated septum.
Except for your septum.
Except for my septum. It's very, and the huge irony of the whole thing was I was getting it done because I snored so loud. So I was doing it for my former partner, who I was no longer with. So I'm going in here to do this thing for my nose that I don't even have any reason to do it for. So I'm already like, oh, whatever, I'll just go. And then throw in the fact that I was doing it without opiates because, as I told the doctor before we went in, I was too good at opiates, so I didn't want to take them anymore. So we went in there, and I knew I was going to have a horrible recovery because I wouldn't have the actual painkillers that actually kill pain. And so I'm on the table there. They got the funny gas ready to go, and they're about to put me under. And the first thing they say is, all right, we want to make sure you have happy, positive thoughts as you go under, because it always helps you, through the process, and we want to make sure you drift off perfect. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. And as they go to put it on, a girl in the corner goes, "That's how I know you. You're the guy from the radio." And as it's going on, I go, not anymore. Oh, no. And I was like, what do I do? And I was so like, man, I just did everything they told me not to do. I'm going under, and I'm negative. I'm in this all. And it was weird. And then 2 seconds later, I opened my eyes, and sure enough, I felt great. I was like, this is awesome. I can breathe. Not realizing, full of painkillers. Wow. And so about 2 hours later after I got home, like, man, I don't know why I complained about this last time. This is awesome. And all of a sudden, it just felt like I turned around, and Mike Tyson was right there. He's like, wow. And then that process didn't stop for about 2 weeks. And I thought, and this is a little tip for you if you're trying to not take opiates post-surgery. A THC does not work. I took a very, very high dose of THC that I had prepared for, thinking that it would help, fix the problem. And all it did was two things. Two things. One, put me on the moon for a day and a half. Ooh. Literally, that was like my whole entire body was floating around. Everything was great. Second thing it did was nothing for the pain.
So the second thing it did was nothing. Gary, I don't think that counts as a thing.
Well, no, because everything else is like, it's all up here. I'm like, ah. But at the same time, it's like Mike Tyson's still there. Here you go. Over and over. And so THC does not, and that's when I realized, that's how opiates are supposed to work. They target pain. I get it now. You're not supposed to abuse them. And I know I was really, really on the moon because my dad, the next day when I woke up, I walked out because I was staying at my parents' place. And I walked out, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. He goes, yeah, whatever that thing that you took last night, no more of that. I was like, what do you mean? He said, you were saying some pretty ridiculous things. I was like, oh, sorry, Dad.
No more of that.
I don't be doing that no more. That's
so I learned a bunch of lessons through that whole process, and all because of that old deviated septum.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an abbreviation for deviated septum that would make it sound dirty.
DSEP.
DSEP. No, that sounds.
I'm going to give you the
that
old
sounds
DSEP.
Sounds a little venereal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a bad case of the VSEP.
You went out and had a great night last night. Unfortunately, I came home, got tested positive for the DSEP.
Oh man, I hope those girls I was with didn't get the DSEP. Man,
that could work.
Yeah, Uncle Brando got the DSEP. Now he's got to freaking miss work or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, I want to switch gears and get into a little bit of the exciting stuff going on with the CCO. Here. So we got some special guests coming through. We got some really exciting things to tell everyone about, and I think it's a great time to sort of talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so last night we were at the Coachman Licensed Beverage Room.
Free advertising every time for that place.
Our favorite place to go after we play Magic the Gathering cards.
Hey, but right before, this is really funny, and I'll be 2 seconds. I was visiting my man, the Sea Dog, yesterday at City Hospital, and he's all pumped up because he's going to Markham Mall tomorrow.
Oh.
He's getting busted. He's going to go rip around Markham Mall.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, man, I'm excited to get out. I want to get in there and do all the Markham Mall stuff. And I said, dude, no matter what you end up doing, I promise you there's a spot for you at the VLTs with a beer at the Coachman.
Yes.
Because I've seen people in wheelchairs playing VLTs at the Coachman.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, 100%. There was an old guy last night that drove up in his scooter.
Rascal, yeah.
His scooter.
Exactly.
Scooter.
So I told him, make sure you go in there, tell him CCO sent you.
Yeah, that's it. We were there, and there was
Like 14 of us.
Yeah, actually, lots of us.
Hell
14
yeah.
of us rolled in. We had to move tables and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were talking to our good friend Thomas, who you've met a few
Love
times.
Thomas. Hello, Thomas. You're the best. I love him.
And Thomas is very excited to come in to record the inaugural Sidewalk Slam Season 3, Game 1. And we've got our friend Brad, a.k.a. Rusty Trump Jones. And our friend Jared, a.k.a. The Sink Guy.
Yeah, Sink
The
Guy.
Sink
In
Guy.
case you're wondering where these nicknames come from, when you join the nation, you get an awesome nickname. It's part of
And
the
then
many
if-
features.
And then if we know you in real life, if something happens, a la Sink Guy,
Yes.
we give you a new nickname.
He got a new nickname because he...
Did we ever tell the story on
Well,
this?
he's
I don't think so. I
he's
don't
not
know
a
this
big
one.
he's not a big beer drinker, right?
Okay.
But as Uncle Brando and I are wont to do, is drink beer sometimes,
Drink
and
a couple
Jared
beerskis.
wanted to partake
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
to the extreme. That is.
So we got to the end of Magic Fest. That was
Bellevue, Bellevue, just beside Seattle.
And we're doing the thing. We're sitting in this mansion.
It was a big house.
And these great big windows, and the sun's coming in. And we had just finished cleaning
beautiful.
up the house. It was so nice, and we're all just kind of waiting for like our Ubers to come and take us to the airport. We're saying goodbye to everybody. It was really nice actually. And you hear this,
And like
what the hell is happening?
liquid, like a dry heave, but it sounded like somebody was running the bathtub at the same time.
And then
Oh
we
my
turn around,
God.
and there's Sink Guy just, and he's not like on the counter like dying, or he's just leaned over the sink, just kind of. It's like, hey man, are you okay? And he looks up. Yeah, I'm fine. It was like that scene in Family Guy where they all take Ipecac.
Yes,
Man,
Who pukes first? Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
craziness.
man.
But that's what we call him, Sink Guy.
Sink Guy, yeah.
Great
And then
name,
his
by
wife,
the way.
Sink Gal, is going to come with him. I
Oh
think.
no, she's the Nutter Butter Nutter.
There's
She
a
got a
fun
new
name.
nickname. You weren't there.
Yeah, I
It was at like 5 a.m, and we were eating all the cookies she baked.
Dude, I was definitely probably there because I was awake till
The
5
nut-
a.m. like every day.
The Nutter Butter Mommy, that's her name.
There it is.
Because we were thinking of Dommy Mommy, like going back to Rhea Ripley again.
Yeah.
And I said, we gotta find you something like Nutter Butter cookies. She made Snickerdoodles, and I'm trying to think of like some dirty nickname
Is that what those cookies were?
with the
Snickerdoodles?
yeah with
the,
the
like-
icing sugar on them.
Man, those were good.
Yeah.
We've had some good snickerdoodles come through here.
And
excellent.
Nutter Butter came up, and I thought, ooh, that sounds dirty.
Yeah.
And she was at the time she was the only lady that was left awake. And I said, "You're like the cookie bacon mom or mommy or whatever." And it turned into Nutter Butter Mommy. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to be here, Jared and Rusty Trom Jones taking on Brad and Thomas, and we're going to have the slam cam going. We're going to have the post game CCO lounge going for
Interviews?
the debrief after the game.
So cool.
Brought to you by our good friends at Pile of Bones Brinko.
Yeah, we're gonna have some Pile of Bones Brewing Co.
lots of Pile of
Yep.
Bones.
And it's all coming to a head after the face-to-face games tour stop on the day before.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna be playing Magic the Gathering cards with all the locals here.
Even if you're not interested in Magic the Gathering cards, you should make a point to go to wherever the venue is. I think it's the Saskatoon Inn.
It's the
probably.
Saskatoon Inn. Yep.
Show up and say hi to the guy in the cowboy hat and tell him that they should just come back to Saskatoon more because it'll just make them be more excited to see us. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Excitement.
Excitement is important, and we're
Yep.
trying to show that Saskatoon is the place to stop, so that they don't have to go to bullshit Calgary or scummy Edmonton.
No, scummy Winnipeg.
Oh man, even worse. Man, you ever gotten a Winnipeg handshake?
Uh-oh.
That's where you meet somebody new and they just stab you.
Yeah. Remember the last time we were in Winnipeg together? We're eating on the patio downtown at a restaurant, and a guy came by with the glass walls that separate like the street from the patio, and he just lifts his shirt up and rubs his boobs all over the
Nice.
glass.
Yep. And then he tried to climb into the patio down
Yeah.
there. We went a little further down the block, and he just tried to climb over the glass and
Yeah,
like
and
a
then
cop and a bouncer.
The
and
waiter
pulling him
comes
down.
out, hey, no. Cops
do
had to
that.
come. Yeah, it was a
And
whole
I,
thing.
and I was just like, Winnipeg.
No. That's it.
And like our buddy who's from there was like, it's not that bad, guys. And it's
That's
like,
what I always hear. That's why I always feel bad saying, or even being involved in conversation with. But at the same time, it's like a lot of bad things happen there. But a lot of bad things happen here too. And it's like, we're the best. We're number
that's
one.
the thing from everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking to our friend Dan from Into the 99, another Magic the Gathering podcast YouTube channel. He's looking for acreage properties in Saskatchewan. Maybe he should call the Bamford brothers.
Shout out.
And he said, I'm looking PA area, I'm looking around Nipawin, and I'm looking around Saskatoon. And I'm like, well, I have news for you. A couple of those places are quite a bit cheaper than Saskatoon, but if you actually want to be able to do stuff, and not get killed. You should move to Saskatoon. Plus, then you could be my neighbor. We could be
I
the
feel like there's some selfishness in that.
we could be the
decision.
magic
Yeah.
content creation like mecca.
There it is.
Hey, yeah,
I think that'd be great.
would be
that's
pretty
what I told him.
So Sidewalk Slam.
Yep.
Is season 2 just gone forever? We've decided it's.
Oh, yeah.
It's not gone.
It's buried?
It's over. Now it's time for season 3.
This is good, and
Right?
we have made sure we have all the microphones and everything. Because I've been talking, and it sounds like this is going to be. It's not just going to be a game. It's going to be an experience that we're all going to sort of be a part of. Which I'm
Oh
very
man,
excited for.
I hope so. I hope it's gonna be fun. Like it'll be fun regardless.
Yeah.
The reason that the other episodes didn't come out is one, the audio got blown to the moon.
And I want to say that was all me because I
No,
thought
no, no.
that I thought that
No, that was
Twitch mic was going to work.
That was the first time we did it.
Oh, that
The
first.
The
Yeah.
second
This
time.
is why I'm saying.
Yeah, like we've been trying to get this episode out for months.
One.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
just ridiculous. But
Yeah.
now we got Brookman, we got Dragon, we got Cora, we got Wendy. Everybody
we
helping
got
us out.
We got
Serious
Gary.
team.
Gary and
Gary.
I are gonna do production.
It's going to be
Ooh,
fun.
we are. Wait, what?
Brando's gonna throw down against
What?
all the boys.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad that you're finally admitting defeat, sir.
Whoa.
That makes me happy.
There might have to be more than one game.
I'll
is
get
what
you
it
on the
sounds
next
like.
one.
Yeah.
I'll get you on the next
Yeah,
one.
I'll bet.
But it's going to be very, very exciting. And to have these, like you say, these big names and big people coming through the city for this event is just a whole awesome way for us to promote all the people, not just of the CCO family, but of the Magic family. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a very
yeah.
cool thing.
You know what? I would really over the next 2025. Yeah. The next 2,000 years that Brando's going to be alive for.
He does it.
But in 2025, we've talked about on CCO, it's the year of like giving more back to our community, right? And you talk about that all the time
all
on
I want to
DAM.
do. Well, that's my
charities,
biggest
the
downfall is
food
I
bank
never
and-
think about here. I'm always thinking about trying to help everyone else, and I have to be like, hey, this is a reality. You have to. You,
know,
can't help them if
my
you're not
job
helping
for you.
here. Exactly. And that's why
we
you're
call
so
it
good.
Gary wrangling, remember?
that's it.
I've had 9 years of practice Brando
Brando.
wrangling. Yeah. So
Samesies.
we want to give more back to our Magic community by inviting our audience in and showing them the studio and treating them to a fun game and a
very
fun
cool.
experience, and then they get to show their friends. And we want to do the same thing with face-to-face when they come through, or when we go and meet all of the other like partners on the
Make it a
Canadian
tour
Magic
stop.
Tour.
That's
yeah,
what we say. Make this a tour stop, not just for bands, for anyone. If you're on tour, hit us up.
there it is.
Hold on. I even got a thing for that.
Oh, is there a thing? Oh, cool.
Tour at dufferinave.com.
No, it's just contact.
Oh, it's the con. Hey,
But if you're on tour, it'd be pretty cool. Let us
Yeah.
know. And if you don't like emails, because I sure don't, we have a website. Make it even easier. If I can hit the button.
Nope, can't.
can I push
Come
the
on.
button?
Oh, do you know what? This is LB. LB, are you messing me again? Oh, it's not. Never mind. That's even
He's
worse.
sitting there sleeping. eh?
Website. There it is.
There we go.
Hey!
There you
We should get other.
Dufferin.com.
Do we have other buttons on there? Like, do we have like?
Oh,
one
yeah,
that's
we have
got,
all of them. That's
like
why
an
I try to be really
explosion
careful.
or a-
No, it is funny though, because he's the one that set it all up. So he's like, if he wants to, he can do anything. Which is why we make sure he's the happiest guy here at all times.
Oh,
Because we love our
All
sweet
those
LB.
naked pictures of Gary that were floating around for a while. Hey, he
Yeah.
could put those up.
what?
If you wanted to. Luckily, you don't see anything because it's so small.
Yes. Yes.
That's how we win that battle.
And for Uncle Brando, you don't see anything because it's too big.
Big, yeah. There's not a lens out there big enough.
Yeah, when I was
You're
asking,
like looking at something this close.
Right. But he's a mile away. I know. I'm aware.
Oh man, it looks like a space shuttle.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very, very, very well said.
I've been peeing since the show started.
Whoa. Okay. Well, we got
With
one
that, yeah.
quarter of a show left as we continue here on the Friday edition of your show. This is the CCO Roundtable, which has sort of taken over from the Past Our Bedtime show, Past Our Bedtime, as they were doing this sort of roundtable stuff, but they've been very busy lately, so I'm very grateful that you guys have picked
I
it up.
miss
and
those ladies. I
They'll
hope
be
that-
back.
I hope that they're
just
back
got-
soon.
Yeah, they will be. They just got a bunch of stuff going on.
Oh man. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's
Did
always good.
does somebody need beat up? Me and Ryan are real good at that kind of thing.
No beat ups.
Okay, fine.
Just love. Just nothing but love. The viewing room. So our boys over here.
Did they do Lord of the Rings yet?
No.
Oh.
No, they did not.
7 is coming up next. LB was telling me before the show they're going to go watch 7, and then they're going to do a viewing
boy.
room. And I'm excited for that.
Did you
crazy.
spoil that? Were you supposed to spoil that?
Ooh,
I
breaking
did.
news.
What's he going to do about it? Come out here and ask me politely to take it back? Because I won't.
They'll be okay. The reason I bring up the boys, the viewing room boys, is because Thursday has sort of turned it a little bit into the viewing room roundtable. So we got like the viewing room roundtable, the past our bedtime roundtable, the CCO roundtable. Like it's very, very organic in how all we wanted to do from the start with this was to have a daily show that promotes all the other shows, and then here we are doing it without us even like thinking about it. I just thought that was really, really cool. And the boys just did Up. Is that the one that's out there right now from Tuesday? So they have Up out there. And I want to ask you a little trivia. How many balloons do you think, filled with helium, would it take to lift a house off the
Oh
ground?
man,
Just
didn't
like
they
the
do a
old guy.
MythBusters on this or something?
We have the numbers. That's why I'm asking, because it blew my mind.
Well,
Oh yeah, it would be thousands.
no, what kind of balloon was it?
Helium balloons?
Well, no, but like how
Just a normal balloon.
like birthday balloons?
Yeah.
Man, I want to say like 5,000.
To lift a house, dude?
It's good. No, it's got to be like 5 million. It's got to be so many.
Now you're thinking, yes. This is where it
Yes.
gets interesting.
Is it 8.35 million?
Getting close. 12.5 million
Yeah.
balloons. And if he were to do it himself, it would take him, if he nonstop, like balloon, it would take him, I think it was like 3.5 years.
It was, I can't remember the exact, but a skilled professional, it takes 9 seconds to blow up a balloon.
Yeah.
So professional, 9
For a
seconds.
living, so we're assuming he's skilled.
Okay, hold on. 9 seconds for a solo professional to fill up
By
a balloon.
skilled
9
balloonist.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the exact number of balloons, but it was going to take 3.5 years working nonstop at 9 seconds per balloon.
To get to that, whatever it is, we'll save 12.5
Wow.
million.
Days, by the time you've blown them up, the first ones have already deflated.
The first
Yeah.
ones have already deflated, so you can't keep up in
So
time. Like
my suggestion for that was, get 100,000 people to do it.
Yeah.
And then they say, yeah, that's fine, but the old guy did it in one night.
no.
Oh,
Well, you tell me Pixar isn't being real, bro?
so he's
Pixar's lying to me?
he's like balloon Santa.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
he's a balloon expert. Like, that's his business. He's a
Magical
balloon guy.
powers. What was his plan? Like I've never seen Up.
I don't
It-
watch.
I
I don't.
feel like it was it looked
Too many
depressing
emotionals.
to me.
Yeah, exact. Thank you. That's
You know
exactly
what?
I said. I, don't
I was
want that
just going to
part.
say, I don't think that I like the movie Up.
I saw Old Man and a Dog and an adventure. I'm like, man, there's
Nope.
no way
This ends well.
that this
This
is
always
going to
goes
be
well.
an uplifting movie.
boo.
No way.
You know what?
Not Ryan Pike.
Maybe if I watched or listened to on my favorite podcast app, The Viewing Room,
Woo!
episode 22, I think, Up.
Back on.
Episode
That went over quick.
episode 22,
Yeah, what episode was
Up.
it? 22? Yeah, there you go.
22, Up. Maybe I would learn better because you know what? It's not just film review; it's also film analysis.
Yeah,
They've
it's
got
very
some
cool.
great trivia on there,
There's
or
a
not
reason
trivia,
they're-
but like info and dates, and hey, this is what was going on at that time in the world, and this is why it's relevant.
They're our top watched show.
Oh yeah, good
What
for
do you
them.
think of that?
Oh.
There's a reason. They're at almost 1,000 views for their National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Not that we care about views here or any of this or that. It's just cool to know that all the work they're putting in is paying off. And it was their first one on the new set, which was very cool. And they opened it with a great joke about how they compared me to the old guy that went up in the air. And they said, yeah, we've been trying to get Gary in a group home forever. And it was laughing at how old I was. And that just like that old guy, they would put me in the old folks home as well, just like with him. And so that was like the big opening. Again, it was way, sorry, I know there's no laughing there, but they did it way funnier. It was a whole setup and they have like little clips from the show to start each show before they hit the intro type of thing. Like
It's
you
good.
guys do?
It's a good thing that they don't know how old Uncle Brando is.
I'm the mummy.
Yes.
People don't know that he sleeps in a sarcophagus wrapped in toilet paper every night.
Yes.
Yeah, I turn to dust when the sun goes down.
Yes.
Yeah.
All true.
We better finish this recording. We'll be sweeping them up.
We're getting pretty close. I'm going to put my headpiece in. Okay. What else do you guys want to get out there today as we got a couple minutes to go before we shut this one down and we get ready to CCO?
I have, based on our conversation last week when we talked about the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Oh, World Juniors!
I actually-
had a bunch of people give you all the love. Like, man, that Brando guy's perfect. And you, because you were playing like the opposite of what I was thinking,
Yeah.
and you were like the middleman, literally sitting in the middle, seeing both sides and adding all the hilarious angles that we wouldn't think about.
I actually had a sports question brought on by a sports conversation I was listening to in the newsroom.
Nice.
So, the Toronto Blue Jays,
Go Jays,
who,
go.
as far as I know, are not really a great baseball team at this moment in time, are trying to sign Guerrero.
Vladimir Guerrero
And-
Jr.
They're $100 million apart from what he wants to what they want to pay him.
Yeah.
Is he?
It's rumored that they're 100 million apart. What does that mean? Who actually knows? That's just a headline to get you to click on the news article.
Is he that good at baseball?
He's going to get way more than that, you guys. So this was arbitration talk. So you know how arbitrations go. Each side presents their case, and then a judge decides who they're going to go with. And the whole idea is Vladdy, they want to be the cornerstone. They want to sign him long term.
Yes.
And
Long term would be like 10 years or 14 years
And that's
because
when
he's
you get
quite
that,
young.
And that's when you get in that $200, $300 million range.
Okay. So it's not $200-300 million for a season.
Not
it's
this.
for-
Exactly.
For
This is
the
a total
total,
contract.
yeah, the total value of the contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with the arbitration, I think it settled in at $28.5 million. So next year he'll get $28.5 million to play his final year while they go in. So basically all they did with this arbitration case was buy another year of negotiations to figure out that $100 million discrepancy that they have in between the two sides.
Jesus.
Yes. And when they go to arbitration, an arbiter, it's a lawyer, a sports lawyer in this case, that would look at similar cases and they would say, is he that good? Is he comparable to other people?
Yeah,
like,
comparables
does
are
he
big.
have comparables?
Yeah.
And if he does, what are they earning? And then they would say, okay, well, how much does Toronto, and they would weigh that against how much can Toronto earn off of this guy playing? Are they going to be competitive?
Yeah,
Are they
all
going to
sorts
sell
of
playoff
things.
tickets? How big's their stadium? To see if Toronto making like a $700 million offer is in their best interest. And an arbitrator will help Guerrero get more money and the Toronto Blue Jays pay less money. And then they'll meet in the middle because an arbitrator said so. Instead of the Blue Jays just saying, well, Juan Soto just got a $750 million contract
Insane
and
amount.
you're better than him, we'll pay you $780 million. Guerrero wants that. And if he was Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani, maybe the Blue Jays would want that, but he's not those guys. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, well, we don't want to pay you that much, right? But there are comparables in the $700 million range in MLB now. And those guys are on 10 and what's Soto's 13 year?
I think so.
12 or
around there.
13
Yeah,
year
lots
contracts
of years.
where they're talking about 70 some million dollars a year.
So does this guy still like hit home runs and then flip bats?
That's the craziest part. Is
and does he like run around like this still? Is that the thing that he does?
No.
Like
Different guy.
That's
Different guy.
Edwin
Different guy.
Encarnacion was your guy with the parrot. This Juan Soto guy, that's the big outcry about all this, is there's no possible way that he can live up to the contract because it's such an insane amount of money. It's the highest, not just in baseball, like almost all sports, I think.
I don't know
It
about
broke
all
so
sports.
many records, like
Yeah.
so many insane things that no matter, like this guy could go 50 dingers a year for all 13, he still would be like way overpaid just because you have to overpay for a guy who's one of the best in the league. But when you break down his numbers, man, it's really good. But
You're talking about Soto now?
yeah,
or back
Soto,
to
no, just
Guerrero?
Soto with that huge record-breaking contract. Like his numbers aren't like we're not looking at the Barry Bonds type of situation here. Like,
Well, no, but
you
he
know what
also
I mean?
doesn't take as much steroids as Barry Bonds.
Get on the gas, baby.
That doesn't even matter. I'm talking about strictly on performance,
Hmm.
just on the numbers that we see. There's no chance that he could live up to this contract. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people saying this is a dumb contract, this is horrible. But that's the price you have to pay to get the guy who's one of the best in baseball.
Yes,
So what
he's one of the best, and because
Exactly.
he's the best, and because he's available, and because a team has the money to spend, they're going to pay him the most money in baseball to
no
get him.
salary cap, so they can just go as big as they
And what
want.
that does then is moves the needle upwards for guys like Guerrero who
Exactly.
might have said, hey, I want $500 million to play here for 10 years because Guerrero is one of the best hitters in the league. And what do you pay for? Hitting, offense, right? You pay for slugging, you pay for home runs, grand slams, doubles, triples, right? And he's got a gold glove that he probably shouldn't have won, but he's Canadian, so he
come
won it.
on.
Anyways,
Come on.
you pay for offense in baseball, and because Shohei Ohtani, best baseball player probably of all time, we are living in the world where the best baseball player to ever play is playing and we can watch him.
Not
Babe
just-
Ruth who, right?
Not just the best hitter, but the best pitcher too.
And
It's
then
crazy, yeah.
and then Soto gets his $700 million contract. So now instead of 500, let's say for Guerrero, he says, I want 600. I want 650. I just had a really good year offensively where I was like top 3 in a lot of major hitting stats. I want to get paid like the frickin' guys in the top 3. That's like $700 million now because,
keep pushing it up.
yeah.
Keep raising the roof. The kids say in the
So
club.
to be $100 million apart over the course of 10 years is believable, right? And that's why people are like, oh, is that really the number? They click on the article.
Yeah.
It's believable because the Blue Jays were prepared with
had the
Shohei
money ready
Ohtani
for
for
Shohei.
$600 million, and then the Dodgers gave him $700 million.
Jesus.
Right? So maybe they were $1 million apart or $100 million apart.
Wow.
And
possible.
it gets even more complicated, convoluted, complex, subtle, nuanced, whatever you want to call it, because
said.
these guys
Percentage of merch sales.
play well, yes. And do you make the playoffs if they pay Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? if they pay Vladdy $70 million a year, are they going to make the playoffs? Are they going to make more of that money back if they pay him more?
Or are you pigeonholing yourself and leaving no money left to round the
Exactly.
table around him? Build a
Or
team
can
around
they
him?
get other talent to sign for less if they have a superstar signed long term?
A guy that wants to win now.
Guy that wants to win now, is he going to take a $10
Big
million 1 year contract instead of a $25 million 1 year contract? And
Everything's moving.
can
all
they
the time.
can they convince a guy to defer money in his contract? Like, instead of $70 million for the next 10 years, how about we pay you $10 million for the next 5 years, and you take $60 million for the next 20 years after you retire? Like,
The Bobby Bonilla deal.
yeah, right.
Still, there's
and
a day.
Shohei
one
Ohtani's
day,
doing that.
Oh yeah, one day every year where Bobby Bonilla, a former Major League Baseball player, signed a deal with the Mets, and it's been like he's been retired now. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's been retired for like over 20 years, and every year on this day he gets a $1 million check sent to him from the Mets, and it's going to continue, I think, till like 2035 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And he made sure that happened. It's turned into a day that people celebrate,
Yeah.
just like Easter and Christmas. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah.
Everyone acknowledges he's still getting his
Man.
$1 million from this team and hasn't played with the team for over 20 years.
And
amazing.
you know what's ridiculous and happening right now in the league, or well, at least last season it was. There's a pitcher named Max Scherzer.
Oh my God, I love that dude.
Super Bowl winner, World Series winner, Cy Young winner,
Numerous. Yeah.
first ballot Hall of
Beast.
Famer. He's
Awesome.
really great.
Workhorse.
And 2 different colored eyeballs.
Yeah.
Looks like a psychopath.
Weird.
But he's getting paid last year by who? The Washington,
And
the Mets,
and Tigers.
and the Texans.
Oh yeah, Houston Astros.
Oh, no.
Or Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers. I'm getting my NFL
got-
and my
yeah,
MLB.
we're
Yeah. Yeah. So the Rangers, the Nationals,
Yeah.
and the
Whatever it
Mets
was.
are all paying him. And he only plays for one of those teams, but they're like, okay, just take him because we can't afford to him. And then the new team says, well, we don't want to pay him all the stuff that you promised him.
So they pay a portion.
You pay $10 million because you promised him. Yeah. We'll pick up his other $20 million, so he still makes his $30 million a year, but we're only taking 20 of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And then
this-
that happened again. So 3 teams are paying this guy. He only plays for one of them.
Same thing in the NFL. Russell Wilson.
Yo, fuck.
you remember with your boy? Russell Wilson.
Denver Broncos are paying him like $53 million this year, and he plays for a different team.
They literally let him go, and they said, we will pay every single penny of his huge contract except for $1 million. You guys can have him for $1 million. And Pittsburgh's like, hell yeah. Pittsburgh's about to play in the playoffs. But Denver's also in.
So is Denver, though.
But yeah, so the Steelers are paying him $1 million while he's getting paid like $40 million or whatever it is.
From the Broncos.
So he's got one and gets like that $39 million from the Broncos that he's not even playing for.
Wow.
Creative contracts are so cool. I love that stuff. Hey, we got to
Anyways.
give Frankie a kick here. Let's wake him up as we make our way out to the weekend.
Let's get finger blasted.
So let me ask you this: if you're going to pay that much money for a big name like a Vladdy Guerrero Jr., these other 2 guys are talking about, right? If you're going to spend that kind of money on him, you're talking you're
It's
going
all-
to run out of space or salary space
Yeah.
to like pay the rest of your team, right? Maybe perhaps what you might want to do is invest some of the money that you have left over, both in DAM and also in
Ooh, good idea.
maybe
I like this. Creative
Shall we
contracts
say-
in-house.
shall we say, enhancing the performance of the rest of the team? Because I feel like everybody's going to be looking at Vladdy like, we got to keep an eye on this guy. 'cause
He's too good.
but who cares about like the 3rd string back catcher? Like maybe if this guy's running the 410 in 1, I mean, if you can get the enhancements, if you know what I'm saying.
Let's keep Vladdy on the clean.
Yeah.
And let's give everybody else horse racing
Just
steroids.
get him on the gas, right?
Good stuff. The good
Let's get this man a pennant.
Let's get these guys some strychnine.
Like
There
we're
it
gonna,
is.
we're gonna not pay you this $100 million, but we're gonna spend that $100 million anyway on roiding up the rest of the team, so that
Okay.
you can win a World Series, my guy. I
Boys,
should be a. I
Thank
should
you
do
for
this.
making it in today. Thank you for the CCO roundtable. I love it. Lots
trying to get us
to
out of
come.
here.
As well, huge shout out to all the boys at the Fat Tito Ultimate Draft tonight over at the Cave. Gonna see George and the gang over there. Kelly, Rapco, the commish. I can't wait to
we
give
don't
you a
have
big
time,
hug and a butt
Brando.
slap.
Sorry.
Oh no! I want everyone to know that we're gonna have a lot of fun there. It's gonna be great, just like we always do here and everywhere else. Coach Mazur's picking me up at around 8 o'clock tonight, so hopefully we'll be done all the stuff in here while we go out there. And I'm looking very forward to seeing everyone at the tips. Well, thank you to everybody who came through this week. We had an incredible week. There were so many people, and I can't name them all. Unfortunately, because we literally don't have time now.
We could have a moment of silence for the Cave.
Want to eat that giant pizza?
You guys,
for a
I was
call.
like
going
doing
in
this
there.
touchdown sign, and you guys did this.
That's what silence. Anyway, I'm going to the Cave tonight. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to load up my pockets with all the food that George gives us, and I'm going to make sure I eat Cave food for next week. And it's going to be great. So to everyone, have an incredible weekend. We love and appreciate you so incredibly much. And thank you for being a part of this each and every day and every month and all the stuff we're doing as we grow and get bigger and bigger. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, be sure to have the best time of your life. And remember, karma is very real. Do good things and it'll happen to you. Just like this place. Bye. Pew, pew.